Well, at the start, there was a good one. Brown Windsor just behind them and a good level break.
It was, and one of the most important features of the start was Pucker Major decided to go. You can see him, the grey horse there, just at the back of the field at the moment.
And as expected on this ground, going a good clip. Up front on the right of the picture, the grey there, of course, is Stars Delight. He pulls up after a while, but he has a good crack early on. On the inside is Polyphemus.
Brown Windsor next to him.
And also Charter Hardware is 2 off the rails. Call Collect well towards the rear at this point, as is Against the Grain, but going on a bit and really reaching for that. Gala's Image is the faller. You can see he jumped so far out over it that there was no way you get away with that. This is a fence eye view, and big...
Uncle Merlin there in the blue colours going through.
There's Gala's image, red and blue.
Oh.
And someone giving our camera a crack as they went over. But most of the runners together. As we see from the landing side, really good shot, everyone, but it is definitely the extravagance of the jump here that puts Gala's Image down. So as the race continues, and they're just starting to sort themselves out now, as in fact they fan out, they all want a good look at the obstacles. If you don't see them, you can't jump them.
Everything clear over this. Polyphemus right on the inside, Richard Rowe going the shortest way on him. It's the grey horse on the outside, Stars Delight.
And Uncle Merlin is probably just the leader at this point, and just picks up, this is the first big ditch and the first big test. Here, Thinking Cap goes, and he got stuck in the fence, and Conclusive exits at the same time. Now we've got Uncle Merlin nearest to us. We've got GA back in 3rd place.
Mr. Frisk the winner on the outside.
And on the inside is Polyphemus, hacking nicely there, along with Charter Hardware. But back up in front, it's Huell Davis, and really attacking from this point. Huell is in the middle of the course, Polyphemus right over on the inside, Charter Hardware next, and Jonathan Lowe going very, very wide as he goes down the outside.
Call Collect just going out of the picture there, quite a way back. He probably found this ground a bit too fast for him all round here.
Now they cross the path, and Becher's is coming up. Quite a lot of horses going to middle to outer, as they used to. And the leader really flying it. It comes a bit of a surprise next time. And Lana Vogue is the one of the ones that exits here. Lana Vogue and Torside had already pulled up prior to that. Now let's see them with the bulk of them on the outside. The Uncle Merlin jumping first. Mr. Frisch jumped that well.
Right on the inside is Huntworth down on water going round the shortest way.
Paul Collect just landing.
There you see Lanovo crumbles up on landing and goes, and Torside at the back being pulled up.
And Shorty Leach just rolling out of harm's way there. In fact, Mr. Frisch just nodded a bit. You can see that the drop is still there. Big Sun going through the picture. And the Spaniard went through there, but you can see that that was a proper Becher's fall, Lana Vogue. And way behind there was Mononor. But the race goes on now. We come to the smallest fence on the course, with Uncle Merlin really standing up at that, and Polyphemus close behind him now.
Bad mistake there by Call Collect, struggling a little bit at the back. Just made a bit of a mess of that, and again lost a bit of ground.
Yes, and the Spaniard is way back in about, well, 30th place here. But this is the canal, the very sharp turn, and Huell Davis really attacking again. He's still leading here, gets in close, Polyphemus stands off. And jumping best of all was Brown Windsor on the inside in about 3rd place.
Yeah, the fall up there is roller joint. I'm very sad to say didn't recover from that and is unfortunately dead.
Well, they come out of that turn nicely to go to Valentine's. It is a good pace, Bill, here, and Huell Davis had intended to do this and is leading them a good gallop.
This horse really has jumped from fence to fence. Everything's safely over Valentine's there. You can see they come back over to the inside to come towards home. There's no drops up this side of the course, much safer way.
And a lot of anxiety. There's Mrs. Armitage, Marcus's mother. She can't bear it. And Lorna Vincent, of course, Brendan Powell, her fiancé in the race. But now as we get closer into the action, you can see Brown Windsor, Renus, Hungry Her is coming there, and the grey Pucker Major, Bill, running a very genuine race.
He's been enjoying it, jumped off, he found this much too more fun than standing at the start. Polyphemus right on the inside there to say Richard Rogue on the shortest way all the way. Watch this American horse jump this fence here. Lovely, goes, pops it really neat. Mr. Frisk there with him, Pucker Major.
Jonathan Lowe and Stars Delight is just starting to lose ground here a little bit. And a huge jump from Solar is back in the yellow colours and the red cap towards the rear. And Bonanza Boy a fair way back at that stage, unable to go the pace with them.
Another good jump by the leaders. Mr. Frisk just a little bit of a mess of it. Stars Delight on the outside here. Call Collect again with Bonanza Boy. Both these horses have found this ground too lively for them.
Yes, and Jonathan Lowe going very wide again on the grey Stars Delight. But let's go up as they cross over the Anchor Bridge Road. And quite a group here, really. Now we start from the front again. It's Uncle Merlin leading there.
Mr. Frisk on tracking him on the inside. Polyphemus, the grey Pucker Major, Brown Windsor next to him.
And of course they're starting to see, they can see the stands from here, and they're grouping. But what a lovely shot there. And as they come on the outside, you can see Bob Tisdall on the left of the picture there. Kevin Mooney having a good ride.
So just behind him, Renus, who finishes third. He's got into a nice position here with Neil Doughty.
But Marcus Armitage collecting Mr. Frisk there. He likes to be up the front, but he's not keen to take on Huell Davis, who's making it a very fast pace. Well, they're all performing quite well here.
By this boy just struggling again there at the back, and Call Collect, they really can't go the pace.
By this time, Stars Delight had been pulled up. We're coming on here, and we may just see Gainsay go here. He's in the orange colours, Gainsay on the inside, and really steps at it and absolutely buries Mark, and very nearly brings against the grain down.
Yeah, lost a lot of ground. He just stepped away from it and really went down. Now they're coming up to the chair with Uncle Merlin in the lead, Mr. Frisk on the outside of him, and Polyphemus on the inside. Brown Windsor, who's jumped like an old hand round here for a young, virtually inexperienced horse. Good jump by the leaders. Polyphemus stepped straight through it, though, made a bad mistake.
And just see as Bonanza Boy makes a mistake, and the horse that went, we can have a look from there, was Huntworth. Have a look from the landing side. The leader, Uncle Merlin, had put a short. Polyphemus very lucky to stay on his feet there. Hungry Her is the one who nearly gets Carmody off over his head, and Huntworth gets rid of Alan Walter, Bill Walter's son, the owner. And let's have a look from the ditch side. Uncle Merlin puts a short one in there, but Mr. Frisk really takes off at it.
Rena, straight over our camera. Hungry Her there.
He stood off, that's why he made a mistake. And the tail enders really having a crack at it. There's Bonanza Boy going right over our camera and just tailed off there, one that I didn't quite catch. The water jump, the two leaders here really jump this as if it's a ditch. Look at that, what a beautiful jump, stride for stride. Brown Windsor jumping well. Suggest is coming into the picture in the yellow colours.
Polyphemus dropping back now after that bad mistake at the chair.
And Tommy Carmody in the white face, they're the red colours. He's pleased still to be on 1 point. Now these two, they really do show you how water should be jumped, but they give it plenty of height here. Stand off a stride too soon. What a spectacle that is. Brown Windsor, John White going well. Polyphemus, the grey Pucker Major, he's coming through. There was the Spaniard just going through, Gallic Prince in the yellow colours.
West Tip just coming through in the picture there. He struggled a bit to go the pace as well.
And against the grain and Team Challenge, bringing up the rear at this stage. So, Bill, you know this feeling. They've survived, they're playing jockeys now, and up front, these two are going to be very bold down to Becher's.
This is where you really have to start making some decisions, start thinking about the race for real. You survive one circuit, and now the time is to either survive again or start to try and win.
And bravery is a big factor at Aintree, but sometimes it can be the undoing, and we will see this a little later on. Over the Melling Road, the cinders, up under the horses' tummies, spurs them on, and here coming to what was the first fence in the National, but it's the second circuit now, and things are starting to get serious. It's Uncle Merlin for Tim Forster, Huell Davis, both previous winners. And back at base, you can see young Thomas Scudamore there really biting his nails. He knows what it's like, and just think in 10 years' time, he may be out there doing it, and his father will be watching him. So back to the action. And up front, we've got Mr. Frisk on the left. Uncle Merlin stood off that a million. Brown Windsor back in fifth, Bill, just starting to weaken.
Yeah, Rhinus on his outside. He looked like he was going very well at this point and could just pick them up nicely. In front here we have Uncle Merlin giving an absolute exhibition round here for Huell Davis. Mr. Frisk and Marcus Armitage. Marcus sees a good one here, keeps him going for it. Big jump by the leader.
And as they gallop here on this very fast ground, you can see that the horses who love this, their stride, the length of stride, they're really happy bouncing off this ground.
Marvellous old turf here. Though the ground is firm, it would be beautiful ground. These two are a long way in front of the other at this stage. Big jump again by both of them.
Well, Huell Davis may be a senior jockey now, but really went for it. Renus on the left of the picture just going, and Brown Windsor next to the rails. In the yellow colours is Suggest, and he is running a very good race because he's fallen 3 times this season already, as well as 2 wins. But for Huell Davis, who is sitting comfortably, hands on the horses with Uncle Merlin, wonder what's going through his head.
See, knowing Huell, he's probably trying to think what the percentage would be of the winning prize money. He's having a great ride on this horse, really super.
So they know that Becher's is coming second time. Brown Windsor's just nudged through the top of 1 or 2 of these now, but Pucker Major, the grey, is with us nicely still, having jumped off. I should think that Tim Thompson-Jones very happy with him. But the thing that alerts jockeys to Becher's is the run-in. It is a hedge, and this is Becher's Brook. And watch for the American horse here, trained by Tim Fortune, the blue colours. Huell Davis goes for it here. He jumped it so well first time. He was leading then. Just gets in and lands a little bit steep. And look, Huell goes up towards the ears, and he just cannot stay there.
That's one that Huell would not like to look at again.
And Marcus Armitage in second place must have been laughing all over his face.
Good job by the lead. He just jinks a little bit left-handed, and that just puts him out a bit on and takes a stride, and there goes Huell.
And that is so much bad luck for him. But on the inside, Brown Windsor going the shortest way. Pucker Major coming safely through. A long way behind. Polyphemus is dropping out. You see Call Collect jumping now and landing on the inside. He nods. And with the West Tip, those two never really got into the race, did they? So here's Huell. Let's see it for the 3rd time. As the horse went down on his knees, Bills, the saddle hit him in the backside. He could have stayed there with some luck, but he tried very hard.
The ground called him too loudly.
Bartres also nodded as he landed. Big Sun's coming over. There we have the Spaniard coming through, and Bonanza Boy's some way down.
Go far on the outside at the back. Here's another one who never really got into the race.
Well, the race continues, and you can see that it is only going to be between half a dozen horses. The smallest fence on the course. And of course, back there, Lorna Vincent looking for Brendan Powell, but Mrs. Armitage realises her son's in with a squeak. Onto the canal turn for the 2nd time now.
Marcus got a good one here, just clipped the corner nicely. Rhinus there tracking him. And what a lonely feeling this must be for Marcus Armitage now, out in front in the National on his way for home.
A lonely but a lovely feeling. A lot of people would like to be as near to the front as he is. But a lot of the stragglers now, some disappointing horses who couldn't go the early pace. We've got Bonanza Boy towards the back, Call Collect is there, and that is the chasing group, and they are some way behind the principal players in the Seagram National. A lovely relaxed Marcus Armitage here.
As the trainer says, Kim Bailey does get this horse to jump very well. And look at that, spot on, absolutely perfect. Everybody's worried about not looking very tidy. He looks tidy enough to me.
Suggest for Arthur Stevenson on his 70th birthday coming through. And I must say that Chris Grant, who is moving through the field slowly, has been told to hold his horse up and is riding it to perfection. Again, Marcus sees a stride from some way out. An amateur rider, they call him Fluffy. Well, that's his nickname to date. I wonder if they'll change it now. He's a Seagram National winner.
Beautiful jump there by the leader. Suggest coming to it now.
The loose horse is Uncle Merlin, of course. He went on his knees, and that is Pucker Major going. Pucker Major, Tim Thompson-Jones' horse, I'm afraid exiting there. And we have one other one, Nautical Joke, went at the same time. Polyphemus had just pulled up. The leader flying that, in fact, he took a bit of a liberty there, but with going for the inside where there was a hole from the first circuit, he didn't have to get too high at that one.
Difficult time now for Chris Grant, who doesn't want to hit the front too soon, but he knows that Mr. Frisk gets the trip. He knows he mustn't let him get out of his sight.
But Arthur Stevenson had been specific with his orders here, not to go too soon. But with Chris Grant eyeing up the leader, it's a very delicate move to make. When do you really go for it? Now we can see Carol Dunwoody. She knows her husband's not going to win. Marilyn Scudamore also. Mrs. Armitage, though, is unbelievably excited. And this is why, because her son, 25-year-old Marcus, who is a journalist by profession, is up front. But Chris Grant is going ominously well on Durham Edition.
As a journalist, he's not making a bad job of being a jockey today.
So here we can see that Chris has decided to make his move, and this is decisive. I think he has ridden this race to absolute perfection.
Spot on. He cannot let this horse get any further away, and he's desperately trying to get to him without using up too much. Great leap by the leader there, absolutely terrific. And Durham Edition. Rhinus is probably just haven't come to the end of his tether now. Brown Windsor there. He's
and
getting
last of the Browners, Bill, who ran so well last year too, he is making ground and has been relentlessly for some time now.
Just like probably a little bit softer ground would have helped him.
And another bold jump here from Mr. Frisk. He has got bravery stamped all across him. But Chris Grant has now committed himself. He has decided to attack. Let's get it from the inside of the course. Marcus goes for it. Chris Grant in second, and he has now committed himself. It's all to play for up this long run in. And 2 years ago, this was the very same situation for Durham Edition.
Marcus Armitage has ridden this race beautifully from the run in. He gets to the elbow before he dares to pick his whip up, keeps his horse nicely balanced and straight. Chris got his whip in his left hand, keeping him going. Now as they come to the elbow, Marcus will pick it up and give his horse a crack just to make sure of the job.
But what he has done here is to use his heels. So few jockeys actually kick, and it's a great aid. If you ride a good length and can kick a horse, Marcus goes for it here and then remembers his father's instructions. If you're tired, put your stick down, and that's what he does now. But the whole crux of the matter is that Durham Edition has got there, but has patently again just failed to last out those agonizing last 200 yards.
That's the cruel fate of this race. Second again. Chris Grant's absolutely ridden into perfection, but so's Marcus Armitage on the winner.
And as you see, they've gone a great gallop, they've maintained it, they've gone to the line, and I didn't think in living memory we would see it, but we hear that they have cracked 9 minutes for the first time in the history of the Grand National. This is a new course record.
The result was number 6, Mr. Frisk, 16-1. Number 5, Durham Edition, second, 9-1. Rhinus, number 18, 13-1. Brown Windsor, 7-1, the favourite. And, of course, there were casualties. The finishers were lost the Brownies at 5th place. Big Sun was 6th. Call Collect, then Bartries, then Suggest. West Tip came next. Team Challenge after that. And Charter Hardware, Gallic Prince, Go Far, Course Hunter was next, and then Bonanza Boy. Solaris came next, G.A., Mixstar, and finally Bob Tisdall. And the casualties on fence 1, Gala's Image fell. The fallers at fence 3 were Thinking Cap and Conclusive, and Becher's Brook, the 6th obstacle, claimed Lanovo and pulled up their Torside. On fence 7, Young Driver pulled up. Fence 8, Roller Joint fell. Pulled up at fence 13 was Star's Delight, and a faller at fence 14 was Gainsay and carried out Mononor. Fence 15, The Chair, Hotworth fell, and at fence 18, Hungry Her pulled up. Fence 19, Joint Sovereignty fell. Fence 21 pulled up against the grain. At fence 22, Becher's Brook, unseated rider Uncle Merlin, and Valentine's Brook pulled up Polyphemus. Fence 27, fallers were Nautical Joke and Pucker Major.